We are now convening the July 5th, 2017 meeting of the Planning Committee of the Contra Costa Transportation Authority. Can we have roll call, please? I didn't see that on here, but do we do roll call? Everybody's here. I'll just put it that way. Full committee today. Is there anyone in the public who would like to address us on any item who is not on the agenda?
The regular person is not here.
No, but I said all 5 people are here. Sue Nowak is here representing instead of Luella. But all 5 committee. Thank you.
Slowing her up.
Second?
I didn't know. Is there anyone here in the public who wishes to comment under public comment on any item not on the agenda? Seeing none, we will move on to the approval of the minutes of June 7th. Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Moved by Womack, second by,
What's his name?
no, Chairman Abelson. Thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carries 5-0. May anything on the consent calendar that anybody wishes to remove?
Move consent. Second.
Moved by Hudson, second by Romick. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carries. And we've now come to the 2017, item 5, 2017 Countywide Transportation Plan, fondly known as the CTP. Mr. Engelman will give us a brief staff report, and then we will have time for public comment on this also.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, committee members. Martin Engelman, Deputy Executive Director for Planning at CCTA. And I'd like to give you a quick update on where we are with the 2017 Countywide Transportation Plan. As you know, we issued the draft plan on May 24th, 2017. We had previously issued a notice of preparation for a draft EIR back in February, and following up on that, on June 16th, we released the draft EIR for public review. So both the draft Countywide Transportation Plan and the EIR are out on the streets for public review through August 1st, and the 45-day comment period on the draft EIR, the clock is ticking on that. We held a very successful open house, public open house last Thursday night here at the Authority offices. We had a number of displays, and we had our online engagement tool open to the public. About 20 members of the public attended, and also following that, we received quite a number of input forms from the public engagement tool, and these are comments ranging from not enough buses to too much traffic to fix BART. Things we've heard in the past, we're hearing them again. Today, July 5th, we're including in this meeting a public meeting where the public can come and make comments if anybody wishes to do so on the CTP, and we will repeat that procedure on the July 19th full CCTA meeting. Close of comments on both the EIR and the CTP will be on August 1st, and then we will move forward with trying to respond to those comments. We don't know yet whether we'll go for final certification and adoption in September or October. It really depends on the number and extent of comments received on the EIR. That's going to set the critical path. We've been invited to a number of meetings to present the CTP. We're going out to all of the regional transportation planning committees. We spoke to the Citizens Advisory Committee. I'll be talking to the Contra Costa Economic Partnership on Monday. A couple of city councils have come in so far, Richmond, and there are a couple of others that we have penciled in, but if your city would like to have a presentation on the CTP or the board, let me know, and we'll come out there and do a presentation. We have the month of July to do that, and then you could submit comments if you'd like to. So that concludes my presentation, and the next part of this agenda item is really, Madam Chair, for you to ask if any members of the public want to comment.
Thank you. Do any of the committee members have any questions? Is there anyone in the public who wishes to comment? Seeing none, we will accept the report as an information item. Moving on to item 6, which is approval of amendment number 3 to agreement number 394 with Lamphir Gregory for preparation of the final environmental impact report for the county 2017 countywide transportation plan. Again, Mr. Engelmann.
Yes, Madam Chair. In the course of preparing the CTP, we've been through several cycles on this, and the last time around we did a supplemental EIR. Now we're doing a full EIR. There's a bit of additional work involved with that, and plus the schedule has gotten stretched quite a bit, so we're simply increasing the budget for the EIR consultant team from $550,000 to $600,000, and that should get us through to the final EIR through September and October.
Okay, any questions, staff?
I'll move staff recommendation.
And I assume nobody in the public? All right, moved by Hudson, seconded by Nowak to approve amendment number 3 to agreement number 394. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carries. Moving on to number 7, approval of revised interagency master agreement between CCTA and MTC for receipt of Federal Surface Transportation Program funding. Again, Mr. Engelmann.
Yes, Madam Chair. So we as staff thought it'd be important to bring this agreement to you and to give you an opportunity to understand it. We have had a contract like this with MTC for more than a decade, and it allows us as an agency to receive federal surface transportation planning funds or Federal Surface Transportation Program funds from Washington through MTC to this agency, and those funds are used for conducting planning studies, corridor studies, and very much for supporting MTC's work on the regional transportation plan. So they've completely reworked the agreement now in structure, not necessarily in substance, but in structure. They've gone to a master agreement, and that will cover all of the terms and conditions. And then there is, in the exhibits, a supplement, and Exhibit A talks about the form of the supplement, and then attached to the agreement is the actual first supplement. It's called Supplement 1, and these supplements are required in order to implement this agreement. So that states the amount of funding we'll be receiving and the scope of work that's covered. And the scope of work is quite broad. It includes all the work that we do for MTC on programming and project delivery, such as the One Bay Area grant program. It includes all the work we do in monitoring the progress of our projects. It's eligible to help fund our travel forecasting model, and it is also applicable to our development of the short and long range project priorities for our countywide transportation plan, which then feeds into the regional transportation plan. So we're simply asking that you authorize the executive director to enter into this new agreement with MTC.
Any questions? Mr. Hudson?
Yeah, I would like to request that we revise the master agreement, but I'm afraid we might not get as good as we've got, so I'll move the recommendation of staff.
Any member of the audience who wishes to address us on this item? Seeing none, motion by Hudson, second by Abelson. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oh, was it Romick?
No, it's Abelson.
All those opposed say no.
Get my voice out.
Motion carries. Moving on to item 8, approval to release RFP 17-1 for development of a countywide 511 Contra Costa strategic plan. And this is Mr. Engel.
Good evening, Madam Chair, committee members. I'll keep my presentation brief. We're asking to release RFP 17-1 for the development of a countywide 501 Contra Costa strategic plan. This would be for our countywide program, not just for the Central East portion. The program managers and CCA staff all kind of felt like it was time to take a look at what's going on in other places in the country and make sure that our programs are still relevant and they're still productive and the money's being spent wisely on those programs. The authority approved funding for this, $100,000 from Measure J Commute Alternatives Program. The scope of work was developed and has been seen by all of the RTPCs. There were no comments on the actual scope itself. We did receive a couple comments from SWAT that the staff agrees with regarding the selection of the consultant. So with that, we would ask your approval of the release.
Okay. Any questions?
Just if I can, I'm fine with the recommendation. In fact, I talked to Randy before the meeting. I'd even like, should during the process you find out it isn't exactly what you want, have the latitude. Maybe we need to find some work for Tim or something like that. If there's somebody that could walk between the lines between the TFCA funds that we're dealing with, Mobility Source at the Air District, it also has something about brand and outreach. I mean, I'm really kind of blown away with how well Lindsay did on that. If there's somebody in between where we could use them and it made more sense than the dollar amount, I'd even go so far as to raise the amount we allowable, whatever. I don't know if we could or we can't. I'm not trying to make this as something instead of tonight. Just telling you, if these people come in and they're not giving us something we want, there's a new technology innovation office at Bay Area Air Quality Management District. I would hope that person, there's a new officer. I would hope that person stays pretty close to them. I mean, there's money there. It's tight, but there's money there. And I'd like to see some latitude on that.
Are you talking about on the scope of work?
Yeah, well, not the scope of work so much. And when they go out, if you look under general notes, I guess you are, number 2, the authority reserves the right to modify this scope of work. And if there's somebody out there that knocks you out, I would say bring them back.
I think that's what we'll be doing. And
Yeah, we'll do an outreach process, and we'll include the Air District as part of that outreach. If we get direction from the consultants that new branding isn't necessary, that's not included in this budget. We'll go back out with and get extra money to do that branding exercise.
Any other questions? Anyone in the audience who wishes to address us on this item? All right. May I have a motion?
Move it. Second.
Moved by Romick, seconded by Hudson, to release the RFP 17-1 for development of a countywide 511 Contra Costa strategic plan. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. Other business and news clippings. I do see a gentleman entered and has a public. Did you wish to make a public comment, sir? Oh, okay. Well, this is the end of the meeting. So, just want to, okay. Anything else that we need to know, Mr. Iwasaki? Mr. Hudson?
Yeah, I would like to welcome Luella to one of our longer meetings.
Hey, I'm nothing but if not efficient. All right, our next meeting, we are dark in August, so our next meeting is currently scheduled for Wednesday, September 6th, and our full authority meeting is 2 weeks from tonight on July 19th. Good night.